Hi guys, here's everything we know about Call of Duty's new Zombies mode coming in Modern Warfare 3 so far. There's a lot of info here, so buckle up. And if you're new to the channel, drop a like and make sure to subscribe. So first of all, Modern Warfare 3 as a game overall is being lead developed by Sledgehammer Games, and it's done in partnership with Infinity Ward. But the Zombies mode is an exception to that. They've specified that the development of it is led by Treyarch, and they're working closely with Sledgehammer Games, but Sledge are not the lead devs there by any means. This makes sense based on a lot of the other things that we're going to cover in this video, such as the universe that the game is set in, some of the returning Treyarch features, things along those lines. But it does make you wonder whether that Treyarch Zombies team that should be working on the next Treyarch Zombies mode is going to fall behind in some capacity, or if there's going to be basically any impact on that next game because of the fact that they're having to do this now. I personally probably would have opted for not having Zombies this year if it meant that Treyarch had absolute authority to execute whatever they wanted next year and had all the resources available at their disposal to do that. But hey, we've got what we've got. There's Zombies. That's good in itself, I think. So we take what we can get. Next up, for the first time, this is an open world Zombies experience, but we're not just talking about the sort of Outbreak open world. We're talking about multiple squads being in the map at a given time. So in normal Zombies style, you can have 4 people in any given squad, but the difference here is that there can be 6 different squads on the map at once. So you can have 24 people in one server all fighting zombies together, which is going to lead to some absolute carnage, and also makes me wonder if there's going to potentially be a way to coordinate with the other people in servers to fight bosses that might be really difficult to take down with just 4 people, for instance, and things along those lines. Now, many of you will be wondering, based on what we've experienced this year with DMZ, is it going to be a PvPvE mode, or is it just going to be PvE? And the answer is it's just PvE. There is no player versus player combat here. There is going to be no downing other squads or wiping them from the map and getting their dog tags. That is not part of the mode. So if you're a real hardcore DMZ enjoyer, this is going to be a little bit of a different experience. Now, to accommodate all of those players, it's also supposedly the largest Zombies map ever made. And the reason for that is that you're actually going to be playing on the new Warzone map. So we're getting that very familiar thing that Call of Duty likes to do, where they build one asset and then they use it for multiple different things. And this goes back all the way to, like, you can take World at War, for example, where Zombies maps were repurposings of other previously made maps for MP or for the campaign. But it being the Warzone map, I worry is going to make it a little quicker to like burn people out, because they're going to already be sinking a load of time into Warzone, and then to just jump into this and have more of that might feel a little stale a little quicker. So it'll be interesting to see the extent to which they've revitalized and revamped how it looks and really tried to inject new Zombies energy into it. And speaking of that Zombies energy, it being on the Warzone map might make you wonder, well, how the hell are they going to like Treyarchify it, right? Well, the answer to that is it is a Treyarch Zombies story. It is part of the Treyarch canon, the Treyarch lore, and they've made that very clear. This is in the Modern Warfare universe, but so is everything else that we've had since the end of the old Ether storyline. And that's why, like, Kravchenko, for instance, is present in the zombie storyline now, where previously wouldn't have been in the same way. There were some links, like around Black Ops 1, there were some links here and there to the campaigns of those games, and there have been some overlaps here and there, right? But nowadays, in the current era of zombies that we're in, it's been in the Modern Warfare universe, despite the fact that it's Treyarch making the zombie story, and that is again present here. However, they specified that it is an unearthly and involved Dark Ether Zombies story, and that makes me wonder whether space could be some kind of component here, if it's unearthly. Just a theory. The map also works completely differently. This is not a round-based experience, okay, but nor is it exactly the same as Outbreak, because supposedly the difficulty is not actually based on the time you spend in the map or the number of kills that you might get in the map, but instead it's about how close to the center of the map you are. So presumably you will start on the periphery, and the overall objective will be to work towards the center. And you're probably then wondering, well, what happens if I get to the center? Because obviously in Outbreak you worked towards an objective, but then you ended up teleporting to a new map with a new objective, and that's how you kept the gameplay flow going. This doesn't work like that. This actually has a fixed endpoint, which I'm terrified about. I'm going to go in with as open a mind as I can to try and really give it a chance, but This sounds really strange and very counter to the old zombies formula that we're all used to and that we all love, but who knows, maybe it'll be a good change. So, they say that you have 60-minute sessions and then you are forced to exfiltrate. So this is a limited experience. This is a capped experience. It is constrained. And the exfiltration is genuinely an extraction moment. We're not talking an exfil like you might have done in an Outbreak, for instance. We're talking something more in the DMZ domain where you exfil and you extract some kind of rewards. They haven't specified what rewards yet, but they've specified rewards. And so my guess is that we would have some kind of persistent loot system outside of the game itself, so you can exfil with certain weapons or those sorts of things. That's my assumption. But they're really leaning into the idea that this is an extraction survival experience. So it's not just an extraction shooter, but it's extraction survival. And so you've got those DMZ elements and you've got those Outbreak elements basically being a hybrid. I'm really curious what you think of the 60-minute timer on everything, like that time limit. Let me know in the comments. Core Zombies features are also going to be returning. So buy stations, which sounds so weird to say that that's a Core Zombies feature. Ammo depots, like where you can buy ammo. Again, sounds so weird calling that a Core Zombies feature, but it's their words, not mine. And then some more familiar things like wall buys, mystery boxes, the Pack-a-Punch. Those will all be returning too. There are secrets to discover, but they don't specify what. And they say that there are some of the biggest enemies in Call of Duty Zombies history, which is so funny to me because I know for a fact that the Call of Duty marketing team were like, we want to say it's the biggest enemy ever. Like, we want it to be the biggest. And someone on the Zombies team had to be like, yeah, well, I know you want it to be, but if we look back at some of the other things that we've fought before in Zombies, it's going to be kind of hard to make bigger things than like a dragon. So just some of the biggest is going to have to do. And another really interesting point here is that there are human threats in the world as well as the zombies. So we might actually have more of a situation like we had a little in Cold War with Ravenov, for example, where there'll be NPCs in the world that we can interact with because clearly there are survivors around. Like, this is not going to be an experience which is purely zombies and nothing else around us. So story-wise, that's going to be really interesting. And then also, it makes me think back to Carrier from Advanced Warfare, which incidentally was also something that Sledgehammer worked on. So I'm seeing a little bit of crossover here with the Sledgehammer DNA bringing stuff to zombies that I wasn't super keen on. But in that map, you have a whole bunch of people that come in and they set those bombs off and you have to defuse them or it's going to completely shut you out from certain areas. And it's just a pain in the ass, first of all, but then second to that, it's just annoying being shot. Like in Zombies, it's all about zoning, and it's all about making sure that you're maintaining distance from the enemy, and as soon as they can just shoot you and plink bullets off your armor or whatever and constantly be chipping you down, it's just a pain. So I'm really hopeful that they don't go in that direction fully, and instead they do things like, for example, the zombies throwing like guts at you. I thought that was okay. Similarly, things like parasites, which shoot a little blob at you, but it travels really slowly and it's not a hit scan. That I appreciate a lot more, and I can see the gameplay function of being a lot more valuable compared to just another soldier. Jesus Christ, please let it not be just another soldier shooting you.